Students often struggle with case summaries, and this short video is intended to assist you with completing them. You may be tempted to search for the cases on the web and copy the law school format. This is understandable, but it may make the process confusing. Law school-style legal issues usually consist of one sentence as a question. Avoid this. An appellate court may be called upon in an appeal to resolve a legal issue. For example, can a manager of a shopping mall expel a person who's wearing a t-shirt with a political slogan? Maybe yes, maybe no. Some private property owners operate what are called places of public accommodation. These owners have private rights and public obligations. However, the question does not really capture the many nuances present in this First Amendment case. In fact, you may have noticed that the question does not even mention the First Amendment. Equally unsatisfactory for our purposes, the answer constitutes what is called a holding in a case, which is a terse statement summarizing the court's resolution of a legal issue. For example, yes, a shopping mall owner may exclude persons making political statements. A well-crafted brief is great for law school examination preparation, where the law student is responsible for dozens of complex cases. It does not, however, suffice for our purposes. The purpose of your assigned case summaries is to show that you understood the case legal issue presented on appeal and its resolution. So now I'll explain our unique approach to case summary assignments. Each case summary should have 3 sections. The first is the factual summary. You will briefly summarize the factual background of the case. Beginning students often make this the longest section. Honestly, it is the least important. That is because the cases you summarize are appellate cases. Appellate cases are cases that a lower court has heard, and now a higher court is reviewing the legal issues in the case. In appellate cases, the legal issues are far more important than the factual summaries. The next section is the contested issues section, where you describe in detail the legal issue before the court. Although typically I present you with edited cases, often reducing a 20-page opinion down to 2 pages. You may have to read the case over a couple of times to understand the legal issue or issues present. Usually in my edited cases, you should only be concerned with one major legal issue. The final section is the court ruling section. This is where you will explain the appellate court's resolution of the legal issue you described in the previous section. That's the most important section, and it's here you must precisely and concisely state the court's resolution of the legal issue. Unlike a law school brief, all 3 sections should each be about the same length. Also, you should quote or cite generally to the case by using page and line numbers. Assume a court states something like, "Today, we conclude that a person has a constitutional right to display political messages in a shopping mall." Well, then that's a pretty clear and important statement. You may want to replicate that statement right in your case summary. Above all, tell me the page and line number where you found it. That is why the page and line numbers are there. So students ask me, when do I include those page and line numbers? It is called citing. So you will want to know when to cite your source, which is the case. Citing does not help much in the facts section because we are mostly focused on the law sections, which are the next 2 sections in your summary. You do not really need to provide a page and line number citation for every sentence, although I've had students do that. Your citations need not always consist of verbatim quotes, which mean exact quotes from the court's opinion. However, you could write something like, "In this case, the court extended First Amendment protection to apparel worn in places of public accommodation." That's not an exact quote, but it suffices. So we can see here that the best place to provide a page and line number citation is when you're discussing any legal issue. In terms of how many citations your case summary should have, 3 or 4 usually suffice. But it really depends on the case. If you are really lost in a case, or you would like more guidance on a specific case, then by all means, yes, go ahead, use an outside source. But make sure you provide the URL citation or book citation. This process should become clearer to you as you work through the material.